get started. I think we are blessed. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for the beautiful, beautiful indigenous rendition and music. Put your hand on your head and say after me, this is how I think.
This is how I think.
So say, this is how I think.
This is how I think.
Put your hand on your heart, say after me, this is how I feel.
This is how I feel.
One more time, this is how I feel.
This is how I feel.
Put your hand in your hand and say, this is how I do.
This is how I do.
One more time, this is how I do.
This is how I do.
Start at the beginning, this is how I think.
This is how I think.
This is how I feel.
This is how I feel.
And this is how I do.
This is how I do.
There are three things that a man must constantly do in his life. Number one, a man must be thinking. The head is not for cosmetic use. It is intended to be used for the reason it is above your shoulders. You will have failed by cleaning up your head and making your face look beautiful. But the contents between your 2 ears are less than the quality that comes out through your teeth. We can only know what is in a man's mind when he opens up his mouth to speak. When the lights are off, keep the door closed. When the brain is not working, try and keep quiet as much as possible. Because there are problems of showing off that which we don't want to hear. For the sake of the international audience, I will pitch this conversation in a foreign language, but here and there I'll get tempted and I'll come back home, not in a bad way. Our audience is much bigger than what we are here. So you allow me to constantly do what I'm doing for the continent and beyond. Asichkaranga, what did know heritage. So I think we are mature enough to cross that level. A man must be constantly thinking. Unfortunately, we have lost the art of thinking, the skills of thinking. People think that to be said you are a thinker is reading and reciting other people's things. Then you hear even any grown-up man say, I think. Materials are what I think. What quotation now? This is what so and so thinks. This is what so and so says. This is what so and so says. You almost feel like a bishop now. We have heard what they are saying. What do you say? And many of us, we end up in behaviors that we think about. Meanwhile, it's what other people, the community, the society, the media, is planted in your head. A simple information, for example. You know, things that you look at, don't guys. Cannot tell because the universe hears what you're saying. All you are lacking is an opportunity. And as life has it, the things that we fear the most, high corruption. Tato zero dog right. Tato walk dog right. You will find that which you are afraid of. And many times, by the time you are done doing what you have done, you won't even know that you have done it. Meanwhile, you already spoke to yourself badly at the beginning. And you loaded your mind with the wrong data. When an opportunity avails itself, you cannot act more or less than what you think. You cannot act better than the software that you have already inserted in your mind. What am I meaning by that? We need to improve the quality of our thinking by improving the quality of the content that we put into our minds. I like what the young lady was saying here. We also need to start talking to each other nicely. Because you never know the information you are sending to your brother. They will implement it. It just so. And the person you are talking to, you have already given them bullets. So But the quality of the advices that fed into those minds has now become a reality, and people acting out on the information that we're given. So we need to improve the quality of our conversation as men. One was a commanders, here I as we talk about most of the music, not to come with advice. You could go and do what you're saying. You can't do it. Let's improve the quality of our conversations. Man's my arrow, you come on. Through man's mind, to talk now. And I think I'll dig into that corner first before I go very far. The issue of man and his pencil. Man and his pencil. Man and his whip. Man, urumene shamu yake. Yuburuwesa nayo. That's my arrow finish back here. Kule shamu yawe wakadzirikwa basarayo. Ikashandiso zvakanaka shamu iyo inogona kutasavura vamwana. Vanenda mudzimati madei dzatisingagoni tikadzitaura pano. Pana vanhu varume vakuru vakadarika inisi ndikutaura ndichiteta shoka muchana. But a man must think. Number 2, a man must feel. First H is the head. The second H is the heart. How far, what is the distance between what you're thinking and what you're feeling? And many men want to bypass their hearts. We're always in the mode of thinking. But after thinking, you must not forget that you feel. And violence is a manifestation of emotion. Anger does not sit in the head. Anger sits in the heart. And because many of us are not in touch with their hearts, and too much in touch with your brain, when an event finally pulls you up, it bypasses your head. Because when the issues of the heart are bottled, then you have not processed it, the heart will supersede your brain. And you will do things with your hands, the last edge, that even your hand cannot process. Did I do that? I met a man in Durban, who had been arrested for murder. He was given 250 years in jail. If I find my wife and then another man, I'll kill. And life was waiting for him. He got home and found his wife with a man. He took a knife and he chopped Pamba. He chopped the husband to pieces, chopped the wife to pieces. When the children came from school, he chopped all the pieces. When the police picked him up, they found him still with the knife dripping with blood in his hand. They arrested him. He was tried. Being a bishop, I was privileged to go and see him in jail. And one question I had for him. What happened? Because the man had all the time to think now. His answer was, I spoke to myself badly. What do you mean? I don't even know what I did. I don't know what happened. But I know that I spoke to myself badly. What do you mean, sir? I had already told myself that if that happens, I'll do it. And then he did it. Quality of your thoughts, quality of your emotions, the quality of your actions. You want to connect your brain with your heart and with your hands. And don't connect your heart and your tool without your head. Because then the responsibilities of the tool are going to want you to start thinking, how am I going to feed and look after these things? So emotions by themselves are not sufficient. An erect penis with little brains can cause more damage to the owner and the community that is around. Penference, it's no nyora. Kafama mshinyora kuma doors not napa. It's a problem. And then ukaza ulu hata nae, Ask mukadzi wako. Mukadzi wako wakati naye mai vako. Ask me why. Ask me why. Because she will reproduce you. She will birth you. Hauna zero mukadzi. Mukadzi wako ndi mai vako. Kana masvika kumba kuti makadi mai. Mazvo makadi nani? Mai. Izvo zvokwadi. Nokuti ndo pane secret upenyu hwedu hwose. The universe has made it so deliberate that women are the portals through which life comes in. And you are privileged to have that portal in your house where yourself can be reproduced into another life. The question is, how do you treat that portal? Because women are not physical, women are spiritual. That's why when they visit other places during the month, we say, you are kumwenzi. Uri kumwenzi. Uri kumanyika pala. Their cycles are not on the calendar. Their cycles are governed by the movement of the moon. They are spiritual beings. And you, as a man, are honored to have a photocopying machine of yourself next to you. I'm correcting this thing of I love my wife, what we call this useless white man's language. This is not love we're talking about. These are spiritual responsibilities that a man must have access to himself through his wife. Therefore, the quality of the woman is always determined by the quality of the husband. You are responsible for a beautiful wife. You are responsible for an ugly woman. It's your business. So when you find a beautiful woman, ask yourself the question, who is responsible? Wakachimiti wanani, mwabudze wana wenyu isikana, there's nothing called a single woman. You either belong to your father or you belong to your husband. A woman must be accountable to someone. So you're not single women. Hakunachi, you're not single women. You must be accountable either to your father or you're accountable to your husband. Hapana no man's land pakati yako. Women, therefore, since they are spiritual, to us, Professor, as a day, show me your hand. 4 fingers. Show me your left hand. 4 fingers. 4 on the left, 4 on the right. The 2 grandmothers and 2 grandfathers who give birth to your father, to your mother, sorry. Joseph. Nana Bayamani. Nana Segrogan. Nana Berigani. Berigan Maya. Kweda Nana Bayamani. Nana Segrogani. Nana Berigani. Baba. Otora 40. Ne 40. Ubatanit. There, you have your first diamond in African culture, which looks like the shape of the birth canal, through which we all come into existence. When you take your pencil and you enter here, there's a conversation which is happening with the owners of the womb in which you are ministering to. In some places you enter here, you may be entering a graveyard. Either as a woman, she is a womb, or it's a tomb. Muzandozviita vafundisi mumatemberi mamusina kupuwa nendero yokushandiramo. She may agree as a woman, but the question is, are the ancestors through which she has become, are they in agreement with what is happening? Most vazhinji nokurofa kuzhinji kunoitika nenyaya yekuti varume hamusati maziva the value of your pencil. Munongoti pamangobona uri mavona uri zvokwadi hamudzoki mariyo famba muchiita chifundisi chamusingagoni kana muchivada varorei. Pana chinofisa me as a bishop and I can free you. Ndikaona kunomba zvechipiri usatanga wamitisa uzvikadzana naye ita zvimubasha tsvaka vana vatete tsvaka mombe uye ubhadhara binding umuudza kuti zvinofamba sei. Kana mukadzi wako ane njere unogona kutsvakira mukadzi wechituku gara zvakanaka. Do it properly. Christianity and education has increased prostitution in Africa. At the end of the day, we want to look like we're responsible citizens in a white culture of monogamy. But in practical language, less than 5 to 10% of men are monogamous, African men. And I don't know who convinced you that polygamy is evil and homosexuality is right. I've not understood it yet. My mind is not lazy to think. I try to apply my mind to it. It doesn't make sense to me. I can't process that. But African men would rather be talking about human rights in terms of gays and lesbians, and they don't talk about human rights in terms of polygamy. And polygamy is not about a man having many wives. It's about every wife having a husband. It's not about a man having many wives. It's about every wife having a husband. We cannot lie, even in the face of science and knowledge and statistics. That will tell you that 60% man's mine. You 40% ya jasa varume, but me 40% mosara you 10% ya kina mwake. Posa chi sakamoti mora ngenga yose igudivani bosa wamejasi. Varume vaifamba hondo tobharatisa sei gepura sare nyama tikati itai monogamous one man one. Pana mosara iwe 40 20% tovadi. Tika 40 madzimai tika 40 madzimai 8 20 yamadzimai akunduka kuti vodi. Africa had a solution around those issues. Nyamukadzi akafa, murume akafa, Kristu pamusoro. Ndikaita mufundisi wenyu ngamubetsereka. Murume ndobva afa muBhaibheri. Fi ukaenda Mwari. Nani? Ndianoti kwai nani? Mwari. Kwai mfana. Mukoma wafa mfana. Chinda unovata nomukadzi womukoma. Nokuti wafa asina mwana. Umukuridzire mbeu yakewo ave nomusha wake. Ndimwari vaitawo. Kuyere. Inarovere. Dziamba dzasvika pemba dzati kaka. Pemba dzati offside. Ndokunorova badiri macho. Vese ikatiro and God killed him. God, the same one who instructed him to go and procreate on behalf of his late brother. Then the man decided to spill outside. In the Bible, there is God killed him. Is that why it's honor? The people who understand that culture are the owners of the text. Saka Bible ndirani. Vanobalikawo chaiyo. Ndo venechi. Kwa ndoto wangu ngino china kwa sababu mwanangu mkazi. Mudumba na roho wako. Wanaziwa kuti mkazi mudumba na roho. Ndo venye mintine. Mulungu hamba ndiko. Mahindi ya mudumba na roho. So the people who understand that I will go on 1,000 illustrations in the text. So that don't read it in a hurry. Because you have been colonized by Europeans. Then you think that European culture is biblical. There's nothing biblical about what we call Christianity, as it has been practiced by whites. Because they don't even understand the text itself. Torah Abraham, Misa, 4:3. Torah Jacob, Misa, 4:5. Torah David, 7:8, 70. Torah Solomon, 1,700. Nezmuna 300, 1,000. Show me one monogamous man in the Bible except Ananias and Sapphira. And what happened? I'm not here to promote polygamy, but I'm saying we have a template of societal balance, which our culture and the Bible approves. But the person who came to teach us the Bible did not teach it correctly. Ask me the problem. The African man feels guilty for doing what is morally right, and then says he believes in God. But practically, the very lifestyle we've accepted will make all of us miss heaven. It was not about that name. She didn't need to change. It's some later could be changed. Jacques, that is mother knows that change. Hello, Elder. How are you? My pastor, my people. We are going to be so. I'm sick. So what's wrong with us beginning to read this text correctly? And I'm starting on the religious base because that's where our minds are stuck. We've come to accept this as the acceptable culture, when in fact it's not acceptable at all. Women are a gift that man has been given from God, from creation, to be able to duplicate himself. And a man must be able to look after himself in his wife. One more time. You look after yourself in your wife, not in your wife. You look after yourself in her. When you are looking after her, you are looking after yourself. You know selfishness, be selfish with yourself. Because this is love your wife. Love yourself in her. Don't be stupid. Love yourself in her. In terms of looking, maintaining, helping, assisting, grooming, protecting, providing. You're not providing for her. You're providing for yourself. Because at the end of the day, she is responsible for transmitting that information to your children. And she will represent you well in your absence. Because you are in her. She will speak on your behalf to your own children and bring them up in the way which you want your children to be brought up. So there's no conflict. Apana kukwitana nokuparana pakati pemurume nomukadzi. Mukadzi akaita mari yakawanda kudarika yako, inonzi haleluya iyoyo. Itine magai. Because if you are a man and you bless your wife and wish her well, when blessings come upon her, they are yours. It's your anointing. It is you who is supervising the flow. That is confidence in your wife. She's not a competitor. You're not competing. If you say, God bless you, mwari wabitire nyasha mukazongo, paunofamba zvokushona, tsoka dzako dziri kubata kwakanaka, zvisi kufambira zvakanaka, mukadzi wodzoka akomborerwa, chakushupa chi? Are you not angry that your blessings are now ahead of you? Chicha yashota papi nyaya, uri wakumbira chikomborero, chauya. Unototi thank you madam. Chiuya na chimogara pasi ndimbokomborera zve, mwari wedzerai please, wedzerai speeding I want. Stop competing with women. They are you. They are part of you. The campus, the north, the east, the south, and the west. Benchmarking. How do Americans build their men to become Americans? Question number 2. How do Europeans build their men to be men? Number 3. How do Asians and Chinese and Indians build their men to be men? Number 4. How do Africans build their men to be men? Immediately you understand that compass, you'll be able to start dealing with fundamental issues. Do we still have African men? Or we have semi-European, semi-American, dressed up in Chinese, trying to act African. So there's a conflict in terms of our benchmarking. Can we still be African and be proud to be African without us trying to be acceptable because of our American and our European colonization and our Chinese influence? Do we still have African men who are influenced by Africa, not by Europeans, not by the Northerners? And until we begin to understand some of the behaviors that are a problem to us, are a direct result of the colonial system in which we've come from and come from. What am I talking about? Mindset change. What am I talking about? Decolonization of mindset. Changing our thinking from European ways of thinking to traditional ways of thinking. Come with me. Men are custodians of history. Men are custodians of history. There we go. Therefore, a man is a connecting cable between the past and the future. Through you, the past that you don't know and the future that you don't know are in your hands. When you pick up your tool, when you pick up your pencil, what are you writing with it? You are writing generations to come. You are writing nations to come. When you hold your balls in your hands, you are holding the library of your ancestors. The entire history is in your hands. Gentlemen, sexuality amongst men is a spiritual responsibility. It cannot be entertainment. I'm sorry, beg to differ. It's not entertainment. Of every erection must be, come on, look at the ground. Is it fertile? Can I reproduce myself here? Be a good farmer. Make an assessment of the landscape before you plant. Because you will be accountable and responsible for the seeds that you are planting. It is a huge task that a man must have. This is is the responsibility of manhood. Come on. This is the responsibility. This is what you are carrying on your shoulders. When you say I'm a man, you are saying I am carrying nations, generations are here with me. And you cannot take that lightly. Half the time you are drunk. And half the time you don't even remember who you slept with. I missed my period. Vana munozvara mumaraini musingazivana baba. Navamwe venyu muri pano musingazivana baba venyu. Modzokorora here kushata kwakadero. Wanga wadii uzive kuti zvakaitika sure zvinoguma nemi pano. Kubva pano zvichida tobagadzirisa. Mai vako avo, baba vako avo, sekuru vako avo, sekuru vako. Lord, zvinoshupa because the men of our youth who are running in the community here are confused because of identities. Absent fathers. Absent fathers. Tinandira masvikiro, tinomweya, takuita zvemajuzu, hakuna zviriko by identity crisis manifesting itself in spiritual thing because the child is looking for their identity. Just find out your history. That's what you are battling to find. Then you find all this entire space of spirituality being filled up with people that are lacking identity, and men are responsible for that. We need to tie up our waistlines as men and be responsible for the children that we are producing. Since you are the author, with your pencil, maybe you may need to look at the health of your pencil. You know, you're right, right? Can I do a piece of work for a baby? And you're right. That's about health. Tabu Utana, Rumi, Tabzai Shuka, Tabzai Madoro, Tabzai Tapira, with the rest of the Ravina Pichana. So correct Mashurio, Chakoma helps, and clean and two. So I'm not telling you. You go to very in business now. I don't tell them to they are not allowed to lose customers. It's not always about white medicines. Go back to the adults. Clean up your stomachs very often. You will not be able to avoid issues of prostate cancer, immature, premature ejaculations, malfunction of the pencil. Because the colon is the key. Get the good aloe once every season or so. Be in the process of cleaning up your colon. It's a must. They are faster, but in the short term you may enjoy them, but in the long term you may find that you have developed yourself a bigger problem than a quick erection. Good diet. The cheaper the food, the healthier it is. In terms of my pizza, go back to indigenous foods. You may just discover that you are doing yourself a favor by looking after your body. Because you only have yourself. No, this is all you have. Hakuna ma space. Akuchawana ukuthi when kafonyo kanti no one has space. Hakuna space. So you need to be selfish about looking after this pipe of flesh so that it can give you the benefits. Come on, guys. You gift yourself by looking after yourself. haivhiki mari ukagwara mufudze. So why destroy your health trying to make money only to end up spending money to fix your health? And because when I'm ava nepenzi risingachanyori hasha dzinobva kuwanda futi. Wakomana vediabetes haani hasha idzi hazvinei nokuti penis health plays a major role in men's health, mental health. A good erection usually works with a good brain. Ukaona penzi rake risingachanyori, ungwarire the capacity of your thinking is also it's going cuckoo. Yakutodzira murume ufana kumafufu wakuseni every morning ufana kuza good morning mabere nokusangana kumakuseni. That's how we measure if you are healthy. I'm serious. That's how we measure if you are healthy. Ukaona ukimuka makuseni usina erection, it's already an indicator that there is a problem in your system. Because naturally, kama mvura kuzakana 2, 3, 4 glasses, zako kuma 3, 4, 5, 6 varodovira, kwa mvura ukandovata by 3, 4 o'clock mvura isaposewa yatu wakunyasu unozo wakuseni kuti wakumana mangwana rugari unawanotenda unoziva sei kuti mbamuno murume kwaye ukapinda mutoilet unofana kuona toilet ine weight kumadziro kwechemba kuyo uzobaba wakabata pipe pachigaro kuiterekera your health is important. It is important, and the way in which you eat, you drink, and everything will determine it. Good sexual lives are good for your homes. Be healthy sexually. Be healthy. It will do you lots of good in terms of aligning yourself with your family and aligning yourself with yourself. Sexual pressure is the reason and the cause of anger. Ukaona munhu munyowandisa niyashefeni mukubasa siningi tukupfuku izvatatarisvachii idai kubabababababaona muzinayo iyi kuti takudzirewo problem mukubasa unobatira bhuru izvo hapana zviripo wakanyima So it is a psychological controlling center where women are able to distress you, they are able to bring you into themselves, they are able to help you to empty your frustration, and they are able to capture that for you. Come on. They capture that for you and release you from your problems. So they are not a problem. Women are actually a solution to men's problems. The question is how do you access that solution without violence? This is your space. This is your hospital. Then go hospital yakui. Paunosika kupenga kose, kupaporika kose, mbuzwa umbo wa mungu. Nurumi muka. Askana sushika kwe. Itawanyo It is a stress reliever which we have been given in our homes. It must be important, therefore, that we look after the women because they help us to live better, healthy, mentally, emotionally stable lives. Angry men, go back home and fix your problems with your wives at home. Don't take it out on us. So can I come in? No, chambezera makara wangu. Zitile lukio ni suku. Na reso kwa leo. mushongadzira kugezawo zvakanaka usaenda kuba uchinohaka kugezawo zvakanaka kune zvinoita kuendesa kuve attractive mana zvakaipa look after yourself and be attractive also. Don't follow me. Be attractive also. Don't follow me. I have my wife's permission to look like this, so it's not your problem. But do what is right to become attractive. That's male grooming, male niceness. So to know when I'm come on guys, be hygienic. Yes, it is worse since we get a government is to bomb the mission, then for the masses. Somebody could live for a special man over my bed. But then you can mamma must say, Safari says it. But it's all right to see more. Man, who's on the but let's make it nicer for them. Let's make it easier for them. See the Barajapo, Chokarajapo, it look nice, feel nice, smell nice. So my roll is $1.50, be attractive. Don't push your women into temptation by becoming unattractive. So that's one on health. And thirdly, I would also want to pass by the issue of financial stability for a man. Don't pray too much. Work. The Bible says, I will bless the labors of your hands, not the length of your prayers. Change. The Lord will provide. The Lord will provide. You. Murume guide the pastor. Jesus the board bearer to the pastor. Hey, you need to say the background for this. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, prayer meeting, Friday, Thursday, youth meeting, Saturday, Sunday. Unaina bazari. Wow, take it on Murume. 6 days shall thou labor. Do your work. Learn the discipline of labor. You're getting old, all of you. Take risks, but calculate the risks. Invest your money correctly. I will help all of you for free. Take your salary this month. Buy a cow. One kind of a person. Gorenowe, E2. Goreno Tevera, E3. Goreno 4. Tapina 5. Goreno 6. Tine 3 years. Tine 5 so talking about 9, 10. By the 7th year, what to be number 12, my 15, my 11. I can take it on my woman, get 4 years, get 5, 4. She is more than 75 as I'm speaking to her right now. You walk around, I take a sign of the around, but you will without trust on a page in our I depend on the Babasa, I don't know which is Babasa. We're not going to be that way. Who's not going to hear by? I hear by a guy. Whatever a job, I'm a team player. I work under pressure. Do not be deceived by city lives. Invest at home. Vakai Misha Barzevo. Sending to one was not 5, 10, 15 kilometers outside of town. Mikamahara. No way than the so we should have done a Makon. We should have done a Tuksaburi. upuwa chimba chako, uzvipakira chimba chako 5 kilometers to town. Invest there, you drive to town. You invest there. Usanyike kune zvinhu zvimayakizvi. Zvamunonzvara kuhwa. Muchibadira kufura. Nekudiridza kuhwa. Inonzi loan. Uchibada. Diridza kuhwa. Grass. Kutomuka makuseni, babone kubhuru. Wakabata kusipaini. These are the flowers right now. Imagine what that water would do if you have watering your gardens. I live in Johannesburg, and I've lived there for many years. There are people who are living in Johannesburg, in Benoni, who are working in Pretoria, 40, 50, 60 kilometers out of town. And they drive themselves to work and come back. And those people have already understood. And you must also understand that while you still have energy, invest your energy into building the homestead. Come on. Build homestead. Mamengo wako, mabanana wako, mambaza zako, matumbe yako hapo, zikuku zako, zibiri zitatu, zimumbe zako, zimbuzi zako. And you will find that when you release that financial burden on buying food in town, you'll be able to become more progressive and successful. Much of your money right now, as I talk right now, is committed. Hakuna unimari kudata. Haito kwani. Iminiskate. Kwa nao faramberi, magaraji bashi. Whatever. Haipani. Kwa mambo chini za gross. Una mkaka, uri gross. Wewe una drink, uri gross. Una chimba, uri gross. Wana ko takakuna nevere. Takakuna nevere ngamburi mawoshi magwere zvako, kuzvigadzira zvinhu zvako, mura chimudzi chako isa fridge. Mwedzi unopera tichitodya nyama zvakanaka nezvimufushwa padiri. Ukazenda hasha ukaturika mikoko yenyu chimiviri mitatu, zvihove zvako apa utora matute huku, woisa mufishi. Develop an appetite for loving land. Love land. And discipline and train your children to do the same. To love land. You will be able to become financially free before you retire. Munofa zvakada. Ukaita nyaya dzekushanda mabasa. Ugopuwa early retirement. Unoenda kunanga. Kwa kuona manager usina kufanya hii wakati tsipika kwa sababu expire kabisa. Chinda kuna tempa kusunga na bingo. Sibalukasa chisha kama shida ngani kunocha kama mbipa mapita mepo amapita mepo indiwe mepo yacho. Do not depend too much on employment. In your old age, you will regret having wasted your energy building other people's businesses. Ndoba kulina mose. Dimja zeta zigara zika deep. Tayo kushana mtani. Tati kutana ngondo. Maiti chi kwa mtari kwacho. Maiti chi kwa rada. Chamusina chamuna chibababari. Ukadzibabasa mota mutule, imba mutule, uine. You are able to live this life because you can still work now. Bar 6 months. Bar. Utaka watch notice kuchakana kaereshi. Retrenchment there's nothing because your health is your wealth. Without good health, even the richest man is poor. So look after your health because it is your currency. When people ask you how much do you have, say I'm healthy. Because as long as you are healthy, you have the resource to make money. So I passed the issue of agriculture and securing our homes. This is cash talk for men. Cash talk. Suddenly, my iPhone. BMW, Mercedes Benz, what, natenga G40, natenga G, natenga Henry, Gucci, that's a wasted life. Start looking at things that are sustainable. Invest in your homestead. One more time. Invest in your homestead. That will give you a good retirement. And number last, I want us to address issues of African men and their spirituality. Varume musasha kugadzira magwara enyu ane zvamunotenda. Ukuchechi ida kuchechi, ukumasvikiro ida kumasvikiro, vezvikaraka itai zvikaraka. But find that base where you refer to and have a good relationship with whatever it is that you believe in. Because that's where spiritual stress is managed from. Usati, I do nothing. Somebody will do something. Usujanzi, manaro connectors. You can't walk with you. Yeah. Then all of a sudden you discover that your spiritual life is a beautiful way of managing your spiritual frustration also. You need that place which you can talk to. You need those rituals that make you spiritual. Because spiritual means that you have rituals that you perform that make you spiritual. So there's no spiritual person who is no ritual. So what is your ritual of spiritual health? One more time? So when you read the book of Mark, Luke chapter 2, verse 52, you tell Wakakura Mkomana. He grew in body. So look after your body. He grew in mind. Develop your mind. He grew in favor with men, socially, and in favor with God, spiritually. 4-dimensional growth. Don't have a big body and a small brain. So you need to be physically okay, mentally okay, socially okay, ultimately spiritually okay. I'm not promoting any religion above the other, but better still if you can find out if this God that you're talking to, can he hear black men pray? And if God gave the Israelites Jerusalem, what is he giving the African? Will we tolerate abuse from white people because of religion? Is religion not managing black anger? If a man claps you one cheek, give him the other cheek. Have we become stupid because of religion? What if doing the flag of heaven? If God wanted us in heaven, then why did he put us on earth? Now it's a big job to kill us all and then transport us back to heaven and bring us back here again. I have nothing against religion, but we need to start thinking. The same Bible, men of you believe in, says occupy till I come. One more time. Occupy till I come.
Till I come.
The other one says be fruitful.
Right.
Multiply. Fill out the whole earth and have dominion. So why are we preaching a gospel that makes us slaves? When in fact we are created to be masters with domains and dominion. And spirituality connects you with your Creator and gives you access to the spaces where you must dominate. With those few words, this is how I want you to think. This is how I want you to feel. This is how I want you to do. Don't just think about it, feel about it, and do about it. I thank you.
Kaya
question that you'd like to ask the bishop? Before we wrap it up for this evening.
Good evening, Bishop. My question is more related to religion. Like you said, we're trying to decolonize our minds. So, for example, you have a Bira with those, your regalia, but you can cite it, your bishop, like you're knowledgeable in every aspect of religion. And my question as black people is, Christianity came, I don't know when it came, but I'm sure it came through colonization. But us as Zimbabweans, us as black people, before that, what did we do? For example, the guys that were playing biras and the songs that they were singing even before you even gave us your lecture, what does it all mean? For me, I'm a millennial. I don't know much, So I need to understand where exactly am I even coming from. These colors, what does it represent? That's where my question is coming from.
The word Mbira is 4 words. M-B-I-R-A. Read the word backwards. Ah is the creation, the maker, the Aleph, the beginning. Mabambo. Ra is the sun, time. That Ah is given us by the sun. Ira, sacredness, setting yourself apart. To celebrate Ra, who has come from Ah. Bira is the gathering of the community. And once the community gathers together, the environment is Ira. So Ira is we're celebrating Ra, who has come from Ah. Bira is the instrument we play during Bira, so that the environment becomes Ira. We celebrate Ra, who has come from Ah. Gwenyambi is the player. Who plays beer during beer so that it becomes ear. We celebrate an eye. Where it's come from? Without laboring on your question, it's a broad question, and I'm just giving you that it's not just about, it's not really, when you lose language, you lose the technology. Because within the word is meeting, is worship, is place, is venue, is value, is community, and etc. So rituals are the diet of the spirit. You may not understand it, but your body understands it. Your spirit understands it. So clothing, music, art. This is the handwriting of our ancestors. Where technology, architecture, design, how to build houses, how to build homes, those 4s, 6s that you see, those diamonds that you're seeing, and etc. So when you understand that, you begin to have your interpretation around life itself. Because what makes a Chinaman a Chinaman is being Chinese.
Okay.
What makes Indian Indian is being Indian. What makes a white man is being white. But I wonder if we can still define what makes a black man. It's your journey to find yourself. I wrote a book entitled Find Your Truth. I think it'll be a good start for you.
Thank you so much. My question is not directed to the bishop per se, it's directed to all of us. And my question is, where are we getting it from? Us as Africans, us as black people, I'm a black man, I'm colored. To tell you the truth, but I have to tell you that I'm colored, because you see me as black. But I'm colored, I'm third generation, I'm colored. My grandmother, the one who gave birth to my mother, is a first generation colored. Her father was a pure British man. Pure British man.
With a pure African.
With a pure African woman. And they gave me birth to my grandmother. And my grandmother met a pure black man. And she gave birth to my mother. And now my mother met a pure black man as well. And they gave birth to me. So I'm a third generation colored guy. I'm mixed. I'm British. If I want to say it. I'm British. But you give me a pure British woman, I'll give birth to a colored guy. Give that guy a pure British woman, you'll give birth to a colored guy. And give that colored guy a pure British woman, you'll give birth to a colored guy again as well. You see, it takes only 3 generations to turn a white man into black. But you take 9 to 11 generations to turn a black man into white. You get it? Where are we getting it from? That's my question. If we have such strong genes as black people, where are we getting it from? Why are we so strong with so pure, so poor minds? What's wrong with us? I'm proud of Zimbabwe. I'm wearing a t-shirt with a Zimbabwean flag and the tape on the side. Where's the photo? It's crying out loud, Zimbabwe. But it's not crying because something is wrong with Zimbabwe. Tears are a sign of purity. You know, if you have a baby, the greatest weapon of a baby is tears. Whenever the baby needs something, they cry to the mother. They can't even say anything, but they cry to the mother. The cleanest body part is the eye. Why? Because it's nourished with tears. It's pure. If you're sick, if you have diarrhea, if you have cholera, we tell you, I'm a pharmacist by profession, we tell you to go and make salt and sugar solution. How do you make salt and sugar solution? You make it taste like tears. Those tears are pure. And if you dream that you will live, you will die. But where are we getting it from? As black people, as Africans. I always tell myself that the only true greatest enemies of mankind, of us people as Africans, is education and religion. Those are our two greatest enemies. Education teaches us something else. It takes 23 years to create an undergraduate. And you would have wasted 23 years of your life to be an employee. If you ask someone who's graduating today, what do you want to do with your life? They will tell you, I want to find a good job. And after having a good job, you will retire and be a miserable person. Our education is teaching us what to think, not how to think. That's the message. And religion is the worst. I always tell my friends, we are Christians by default. I learned that I'm Christian when I was in grade 3. When I was given a form at school, I was asked, go and fill, we need details of you. Then I asked my mother, there is a certain place here on this form, I need to fill religion. What am I supposed to write here? And she said, write Christianity. And one of the guys in my class, he wrote Muslim. And he was the hotel age in class. Everyone was looking at him. Everyone is Christian and you are Muslim. Why? Then I had to become friends with him and understand why are you Muslim? And how are you different from us? Why are we Christians? But we are Christians by default, not by choice. We are Christians by default because we were told by our mothers that we are Christians. I want to ask a very simple question. I don't know who can answer me. Any one of us.
I'll make an attempt, my honor.
You
You have a phone in your hand, and all of us, I'll use a parable that is very simple. You have a beautiful phone in your hand. You download apps. The more apps you download, the slower the phone becomes. In some certain cases, it even collapses. And if you go to a good television, they will tell you, can you remove all the important files? Then they delete the phone and reset it to factory settings. Then you can begin to upload or download the useful apps. And I think like the African has become like a phone, where we've downloaded too many apps. Too many, I want this, I need this, I want this, I need this. And the entire life of an African runs around those apps. To an extent that even our function is slowed down. The only recommendation, where we're getting it wrong, we have overloaded ourselves with unnecessary junk. There must be a way of resetting ourselves to factory settings. You can see what happened in Burkina Faso. You can see what's happening in Kenya right now. Those are not jokes. You can see what's happening in Mali. Those are not jokes. The African child, sooner or later, is beginning to wake up. And we are resetting this whole thing up. Even for our government, we need to start thinking ahead. That we're not hit by a storm. Because the generation that is coming up now are no longer of the mindset of the past. So that reset you're talking about, the decolonization reset, could be as important as us retracing our steps and identifying who we are and what we want, and begin to write the narrative of the future we want to experience. That's my 2 cents.
My final question to all of us, just to pick one question, not you particularly. Who can I ask? My friend, Pastor. What's your name?
Lino.
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 Who's your father's name?
Rodriguez.
Rob?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. Who's the father of Rodriguez?
Good.
Good. Very good. Who's the father of Good?
Piloto.
Piloto. Who's the father of Piloto?
Astombre.
Very good. Very good. That's one mistake we made about this. We were taught to forget ourselves. We forget about us. There's nothing wrong with you going back home, going from your grandfather's grave, clean it up. There's nothing wrong with it. Clean it up, put new flowers on it. But most of us right here, we don't even know who our fathers are. Why? But we know Abraham and Isaac. Matthew, the very first part of Matthew, from verse 1 to maybe verse 20 something, I don't know. It's the genealogy from Abraham to until we get to Jesus. It's a whole list of names. But do you know your fathers? Do you know who you are as a person? Do we know who we are? I know 5 generations from myself, going to my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, and his father. From there, I don't know who the next person is. But maybe I might track myself back to the makers of this land. I tell myself I'm the king of this land. I don't even know where they are. But I tell myself I belong in this land. And I believe my fathers were from the great number. That's what I believe. But I still need to figure out whether that is true or not. I don't know. Because that history in me was deleted by someone else online. Whoever, I don't know. We need to know ourselves. We need to find our history. We need to know who we are. In that way, we can be better people. I don't know where we're getting it from. I don't know where I'm getting it from. But I need to find myself. And I need to train myself. Become a better person. Thank you.
It's a two-part question. The first one is, why do you call yourself a bishop? Because I feel like you're more than that. The second one is spirituality. You said spirituality is a ritual. Like, I'm forgetting the exact phrase you used, but us, like, let me not even use the word like Zimbabweans. I hear about end of year, like what you said, what does it mean? I hear, a lot of people go to church just to show to men of church. But this will show face is not exactly what they believe, or maybe they are lukewarm. So that's why I'm asking you why you call yourself bishop. But it feels like you give more. I might not know the definition of what a bishop is. Maybe that's where I'm coming from, a place of naivety. And then the second question is spirituality. What's the reason? Is it the ritual? Isusu sima Zimbabweans yatinofana kuita yatarasa kuti we're supposed to thank after every year, or we are supposed to do something that maybe our lives are miserable. There's someone we're going left because we have lost our culture. We are now mentally colonized. Yes, thank you.
The bishop part, don't worry about it. I worked there for many years. It's not fake. They don't lie when they say bishop. They know me in that context. And I've protested many times that please don't use that title. But as soon as I finish saying it, the next poster is written bishop in it. So I'll stop fighting. I choose my battles. And I have bigger things to fight for. Yeah, my rituals are more than any. The African culture is beautiful in that we always want to find the reason why people must meet and share and meet and align. So the people like kuti nebasa kumutha akuna mudzimu wakamuka panyama yacho tisi tinotya yedu bikira mudzimu iwe ndiwo mwana. So over and above the spiritual connotations, so at a basic level, it's always nice for brothers and sisters to meet together and share food together, share that harmony, create an aura of fellowship. That community help is it's good for you at your place of work. It's grounding. So I don't want you to spiritualize things more than you make them practical. What are the practical reasons why people slaughter during the end of year? It's a reason for people to meet together and share bread together, align with each other. We've lost relatives in the year. What if we gather together? We rebandage our wounds. It's our mental health section. As community therapy sessions that ground us as African families, where you can cry with people that understand you, share your ideas. Hey, so mighty chico, motivational platforms. So what people meet together and we encourage each other. And I think that practical part for me is far much more important than the whole idea of thinking through and stuff like that. Let's not exaggerate the practical part. Even you as Christians, go home during holidays and Christmas. Call your families together. Pray home. You could fellowship together. Be in the business of always creating good relationships. And one advice from my food, when there are disagreements in the family and there are wars in the family, do not kill animals to cement those problems. Resolve your issues first and then celebrate unity and harmony within families. I think for me, that becomes that whole spiritual. The ritual is killing the animal, but the spiritual part, the spirit part, is what it leaves all of us feeling like and believing and thinking in that atmosphere. So those rituals are good venues of social re-engineering, what you might want to call good therapy, and even some of us die with depression, especially now, where you don't have time to visit each other and cry over certain people that have passed away. I saw that actually in South Africa, the COVID trauma, where you could not bury your loved one. You could not even see them. In some certain cases, remember at the peak, they were put in a bag. Some people ended up in the hospital just for closure. And up to now, the kind of process that they lost. And the meeting together allows for that moment of regrouping, rechecking each other's wounds. No Africans, we don't just cry once, we cry in phases. We cry in phases. And our healing also comes in phases. And with time, we need to supervise each other and see how we are doing, how we are coping. That's why in the olden days you used to have the black little thing on your shoulder if you have lost a relative, so that the community around you knows how to treat you. You don't pass it in jokes. Leave the cry. Go through the morning until the smell of her husband is gone and the cleansing of her body is done, and she's now available for extra use.